For me, I think the biggest thing that football taught me was how to overcome adversity.
At some point in your life, you're going to have some tough times.
You have to have that next play mentality.
That cohesiveness and that working together, that's really something special that you can't get in a lot of other areas.
When you practice that and you live that in other phases of your life, it becomes second nature because all you know how to do is fight.
It's not an easy game. If it were easy, everyone would do it.
You start to appreciate the smaller contributions that people make. You don't just look at the big one because you knew it took 6 or 7 other guys who are unsung.
And you know, you can't take shortcuts and be successful.
Doing what they do to make it possible for the guy getting the press clippings or whatever it might be.
In this game, whether it's as a coach or a player.
So I would certainly say that you know, you definitely got a very quick lesson in how to overcome adversity playing football.
And don't forget to check out and order your copy of our latest book, Stiff Arming Football Myths. You can find this available in both paperback and PDF form on our website at footballgameplan.com/books. The Buccaneers got their franchise guy in the draft in Jameis Winston with the first overall selection out of Florida State, and he'll instantly make them a much better team. Winston plays a lot like John Elway and will be a mainstay for a long time in Tampa. The way he plays situational football, that's third down, versus pressure, red zone, end-of-game situations is why I believe he's an elite player, and the offense should be able to maximize drives, and as a result, the defense will get rest and will be much more effective stopping the opponent. I'd also like to see Tampa keep 3 quarterbacks because I like both Mike Glennon and Seth Lobato. Pretty good quarterback depth chart right here in Tampa. I'm still trying to figure out why everyone thinks Tampa is in bad shape at running back. They have, at least in my opinion, a pretty good stable of backs. Yes, you want Doug Martin to find a way to stay healthy, and he's still the most talented runner on this roster. But when you look at guys like Mike James, Charles Sims, and Bobby Rainey, they aren't slouches either. And I think now that teams will have to respect the passing game more this year, it'll ease up the box a bit for the backs to have a lot more success. 2 pretty good fullback options as well in Javarsky Lane and Joey Iosefa. And Iosefa is a rookie out of Hawaii, and he's also what you would call a short yardage and goal line runner as well. I like the core of receivers here for Tampa Bay. 2 big outside threats in Vincent Jackson and second-year man Mike Evans, and the 2 combined for over 2,000 yards receiving, 138 receptions, and 14 touchdowns. I believe they have the chance to match or even exceed those numbers this season with Winston. It should be an interesting year at the 3rd receiver spot. Plenty of options, but both Robert Herron and Russell Shepard are guys to me that stand out the most. Rookies Kenny Bell and Kalen Clay are 5th option type receivers for now, but will contribute as rookies on special teams. Both have tremendous value right there. 2 undrafted free agents I really like are Dante Addae out of Heidelberg, a Division III program, and Ronnell Hall out of UCF. Only so many slots on this roster, but I do think they'll find a way to be on the practice squad. At tight end, the Bucs have 2 really good ones in second-year man Austin Seferian-Jenkins and Brandon Myers. I think Jenkins is ready for a breakout season, and he might even creep up on 1,000 yards. Myers, in my opinion, should continue to thrive as a flex player, and they have a good blocking tight end here as well in 5th-year vet Luke Stocker. This is perhaps where the Bucs struggled the most offensively. There are 2 ways to look at it. Either it was flat out bad personnel, or it was the quarterbacks doing a poor job in the pocket, which created more problems up front. I think it was a good mixture of both. Now, there are some new additions to the roster to hopefully rectify the issue this season. The Bucs drafted 2 offensive linemen in the 2nd round, and offensive tackle Donovan Smith out of Penn State and guard Ali Marpet out of Hobart. Both will be day 1 starters, and I believe Marpet has a chance to be special. Tackle Reed Fragel was brought in to provide depth, and I would keep an eye on undrafted rookie free agent Antoine Everett out of McNeese State, who's athletic enough to play both guard and tackle. Those additions, I believe, will pair well with established vets in Logan Mankins, Evan Dietrich Smith, and DeMar Dotson, and I'm interested to see the growth in Kadeem Edwards, Garrett Gilkey, and Kevin Pamphil's game this preseason.
I love football. I cannot get enough of football. I watch it on every level.
The emotional release. You know, whether it's an exciting play that gets you all jacked up and juiced, or whether it's the fact that you're able to pour everything you have. Whatever frustration you had that week, you can put into that first kickoff coverage, that first block that you have, whatever it might be.
And I couldn't think of anything better to do to fill that void that you have as a football player than to get into coaching.
You get a chance to release a lot of emotion that you otherwise have no place to release. There's nothing else like that.
Again, the relationships you build and the people you're around, and watching the guys compete, not just on the football field, but in life after they get done playing. It's just an amazing game.
The Buccaneers weren't that bad versus the run last year, but there is definitely room for improvement there and in the pass rushing department. The key is getting consistency around Pro Bowl defensive tackle Gerald McCoy, and the better they get around him, the more dominant he can be and that defensive line can be as a whole. Now, I'm interested to see how Akeem Spence plays after returning from injury. It looked as if he was starting to blossom last season. On the edges, Jock Smith looked promising last year, and the Bucs traded for George Johnson to man the other side at defensive end. The depth here is capable with guys like William Golson, Larry English, and defensive tackle Henry Melton, who comes over from the Chicago Bears. Defensive tackle Clinton McDonald is another guy who played some very good ball last year. And two guys to keep an eye on are undrafted free agents, defensive end Ryan Dallaire out of Towson and defensive lineman Keshaw Lyons out of Tusculum. Dallaire, in my opinion, is the pass rusher that the Buccaneers need, and Lyons has the versatility to play anywhere along the defensive front. Pretty good group of linebackers here for the Buccaneers. You can make a strong case for Levante David being the best backer in the game, and David was first on the team in tackles with 146. Big free agent pickup with Bruce Carter coming over from the Dallas Cowboys, and I think he's an ideal sandbacker in his defense. Danny Lancenot played some really good ball last year, but he may have to hold off rookie fourth-round pick Kawan Alexander out of LSU. Alexander's a guy that's a good all-around backer with above-average football IQ. In my opinion, he should get the start. Intrigued by the depth here as well with Ari Lemon, Larry Dean, and free agent signee Kasim Green coming over from the Bears as well. Should give defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier some options with sub packages. I actually like the personnel in the Buccaneers secondary. Both Jonathan Banks and Elteron Werner are two excellent corners. Leonard Johnson is as solid as they come as a nickelback, and getting Mike Jenkins back from injury along with the progress of second-year man Brandon Dixon, and you have, in my opinion, a pretty strong quintet of cornerbacks. They also add cornerback Sterling Moore to the mix as well via free agency. Tampa has to get better play from the free safety spot. In the offseason, they allowed Deshaun Golson to leave freely, and they signed Chris Conte from the Chicago Bears. Major Wright, I believe, is a combo guy who can play free safety if need be, but I would keep an eye on undrafted free agent Chris Hackett out of TCU, who I think can excel as an alley defender. Strong safety is in better shape, in my opinion, with Brad McDougal coming off a solid season with former second-round pick of the Texans, DJ Swearinger, backing him up, hoping to get his career back on the right track. Tampa wanted to jumpstart their return game with the selection of Kalen Clay out of Utah, and he's a big play waiting to happen, and the hope is that he can give the Bucs offense plenty of short fields to work with this season. Should be a solid kicking game once again with kicker Patrick Murray, the second-year man out of Fordham, and veteran punter Michael Conan is still able to effectively pin teams deep with his punts, placing 17 out of 78 inside the 20. I have the Bucs finishing fourth in the NFC South. I still think this is a dangerous team. Ton of talent on both offense and defense, and getting Jameis Winston at quarterback, I believe, instantly upgrades the offense, which in turn helps that defense be much more effective. So keep an eye on the Bucs, not just this season, but years to come. I think this year they may flirt with the 500 record. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Buccaneer fan forums for always showing football game plan support.